Athlete Leadership Program, Giving and Conducting Interviews. What this course will cover. Hello, and welcome to the ALPs Interview Guide. Many Special Olympic athlete speakers have the privilege of appearing in all kinds of media, where they have interesting conversations with different types of people. This course will help prepare you for interviews as they appear on television, radio, social media, and other platforms. What is an interview? An interview is a conversation where one person asks the other questions. While there are many types of interviews, like job interviews, this course will focus on media interviews that athlete leaders may experience. The next slide has some examples of a media interview. When pro athletes like LeBron James and Serena Williams answer questions from reporters, they are giving a media interview. Special Olympics athletes, unified partners, coaches, volunteers, and other allies often appear in media interviews. Why someone would want an interview? Someone may interview a Special Olympics athlete to hear the personal experience of a person who benefits from Special Olympics, to spread awareness on a particular topic regarding Special Olympics, or to find connections between Special Olympics and other parts of life. A Special Olympics athlete may interview someone else to give a voice to other athletes who may be asking the same question, hear from someone who can bring a unique perspective to Special Olympics, or to direct a conversation towards key talking points. Examples of interviews. In the video on the left, Special Olympics New York athletes were interviewed after the closing ceremony of their Winter Games. This was a perfect chance to ask the athletes about their recent experience in the Games, which helped the athletes give some amazing responses. In the video on the right, Special Olympics athlete Dustin Plunkett interviewed former Major League Baseball player Jim Abbott about his collaboration with Special Olympics. Plunkett acted professional, friendly, and had his questions ready, allowing for an interesting conversation about why people like joining Special Olympics. To see either of these videos, please click on the blue hyperlinks below. Interviewing and being interviewed. Being interviewed means someone is asking you questions. Giving an interview means you're the one asking somebody else questions. In more casual interviews, you may be asked a few things and are also allowed to ask your own questions in return. People who will interview you. Journalists. Journalists are people who work for news sources like CBC or ESPN. Journalists reach people who have never heard of Special Olympics before, so try to explain everything, including the basics. During an interview, it helps if you have a sound bite, which is one powerful sentence the reporter or host can later quote to promote your interview. Newspaper reporters usually only publish your side of the interview, and may not have room to include all of it in an article. TV and radio show hosts are more casual, recording a back and forth talk with you and publishing it with their side and more of the interview intact. People you will interview. SO athletes have the best voice for representing Special Olympics. When interviewing a fellow Special Olympics athlete, ask them questions about what their experience is in Special Olympics. Celebrities like pro sports players sometimes speak alongside SO athletes. Some interviews can be a lot of fun and feel laid back, but still stay focused. Draw on your own experience if it helps. Also, try not to ask questions that can be simply answered with a yes or no. If someone does answer with a short yes, no, or maybe, ask why they said that so the person can go into more detail. Preparing for interviews. Write some key points and questions to focus on. For example, if you're being interviewed about an upcoming provincial games, you want to bring up some fun facts about the games. If you're going to speak with a journalist or celebrity, try and watch some of their previous interviews so you know what they're like to speak with. Some Special Olympics athletes have appeared in other Special Olympics media or news stories as well. If you are writing questions for an interview, try and Google information on the person. Celebrities and some journalists have biographies. Most people post about themselves as social media like Instagram or Facebook. Talking points. Talking points are facts, ideas, and stories you want to focus on. Some interviews have a specific purpose, like to promote an upcoming event or spread awareness on an issue. If you're speaking about healthy athletes, a good talking point would be how healthy athletes provide free health screenings. Other interviews have a broader focus, like teaching athletes how to stay healthy or telling people outside of Special Olympics who we really are. A story on how Special Olympics changed your or someone else's life can naturally lead to some great talking points. It's okay to bring up some things that aren't your key points, like professional sports, popular music, or food, but make sure to keep the conversation on track in a friendly way. Basic facts about Special Olympics, like how many athletes we have or how our competition works, are good talking points to start with. Speak to a peer mentor or your contact at Special Olympics if you need help figuring out any of your talking points. The list of information seen here is from the 2019 Abu Dhabi World Games. Tips on interviewing someone else. When interviewing someone else, try not to interrupt or respond with words. Instead, nod and smile so that they can see that you are listening to them, but you do not interrupt them verbally. If you reply too soon, it's difficult in the editing process and your voice may end up in the final video. Sometimes a nod and smile even encourages your subject to say more. When moving on to your next question, leave 3 seconds of silence. Suggestion: nod slowly 3 times. Exceptions: in live videos, it is natural and expected that you respond to your subject. And when the interviewer is on camera, it is natural and expected to reply to them. Tips on being interviewed. Give honest but polite answers. Don't just answer yes or no. Go into detail. Ask for clarification if you do not understand the question. In back and forth interviews, you can answer the question and then ask what the other person thinks as well. At some point, try and tell a personal story about why Special Olympics matters to you. Interviews on live video call, like Zoom. Look directly at the camera lens and not the screen. On smartphones and tablets, the camera is often a small glass dot above the screen. Some computers may need you to add a separate webcam instead. Tip: put your notes next to where your camera is, like the athlete on the right did. This way, you can read your notes and maintain eye contact. Keep your background clean. Test your internet connection before the interview. If you have a problem, phone or email your contact from Special Olympics. Interviews in person. Arrive early so you can get comfortable with your surroundings. Wear clean Special Olympics clothing. Medals look great as well. If they have time, introduce yourself to the person you will be speaking with before the interview starts. Bring water in case your mouth gets dry. And during COVID-19 times, social distance and wear a mask. Summary. Today we learned about what an interview is, why someone would interview a Special Olympics athlete, how to interview someone and be interviewed, talking points like athlete stories and facts about Special Olympics, how to prepare for interviews on live video and in person, People you will likely speak with, like Special Olympic athletes, journalists, and celebrity partners, and how to write questions and give answers. Congratulations! You have completed the ALPs Giving and Conducting Interviews course. We hope you use this knowledge to good use and have a great time in interviews in the future. Take care.